Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video we are going to learn how we can install and configure Laravel Reverb in our VPS server using HTTPS. So in this example here I have a Laravel Reverb application running on my server. So let's see, for example, if I refresh this page, the page will load, and also now if I come send a message in with my Laravel Reverb, I get it in this here. So let's put this one here and this one in here. Now the moment when I trigger my event, as you guys can see, I get a message. I can make a public and private channel both. So let's see how we can build this.
So let's start by installing Laravel project into our system by opening the CMD. Now let's go to the Laravel documentation and scroll down until you find the creating a Laravel project and copy this part. So let's copy this and paste it inside our terminal. Now let's give him a name. So I will name it anything I want. For example, Laravel Reverb. Enter. Okay, so the Laravel installation is finished. Now let's go inside our folder by typing cd Laravel Reverb, our application name. Now after that, let's install Laravel Broadcasting by going to the documentation and click digging deeper, then select Broadcasting. Now scroll down until you find the installation section and copy this command, copy this and paste it inside your terminal and press enter. Now it is asking that do you want to install Laravel Reverb? Say yes and press enter. After that, it will ask us that would you like to install and build the node dependency required for broadcasting? Type yes again. Okay, so the Laravel Reverb and Broadcasting installation is finished. Let's clear this from here. So let's clear it. Now, let's install our authentication. So let's go to Google and in here, let's type Laravel 11, install Auth Bootstrap, Stack Overflow. Now let's copy the codes from here. So let's scroll to the first answer and let's copy this, paste it inside our terminal, enter. Now let's go back and let's copy this section, second command, so paste it again. So it's saying the controller, the file already exists. Do you want to replace? Type yes, because we are creating a new project. Now let's go. Now let's copy npm install, press enter, and one more command, npm run dev. Now after that, let's open our projects. So let's open this with our VS Code and let's go to .env file and comment all the options from the database and change SQLite to MySQL. Let's change this also to Laravel Reverb, the database name, and let's run our migration. So let's clear this and in here let's type PHP artisan migrate, enter. Now it's asking us that database is not exist. We want to create it? Type yes, press enter. Okay, everything is done. And now let's go to our browser and check our project. So let's type here Laravel Reverb.test, enter. Okay, it's coming. Now let's register a new user in here. Let's give him a name of admin, email of admin@gmail.com, password also. Let's give him a password also. Click register. So we are registered now. Now let's go back to our VS Code and create an event in here so we can broadcast and listen to our event using Reverb. So let's open the terminal, and in here let's create a event by typing PHP artisan make event, and let's call it public event. Enter. So our event is ready. Now let's go to inside our app, events and public event. The first thing that we have to do in here, after the class public event, in here we should write implements should broadcast. Then after that, inside our construct, because we are going to send a message with our event, so we have to accept a message in here. So we will type message, and let's create a variable also with the type of private message, and inside our construct, let's say this message is equal to $message. Now let's scroll down, and in our broadcast on method in here, let's change private channel to just channel. So let's delete the private and give it the channel name. So in here I will say test channel. So then after that, let's create a new method with the name of broadcast with. So let's type public function broadcast with, and it will return an array. So let's create the method. So let's say return message $this message. Now let's go to our resources, views, and inside our welcome in here. So we don't need all of them, so let's delete them, and let's create a new HTML5 tag. Then inside the body I will call my read, and in here I will type resources/js/app.js. in here we are calling the app.js, which is here, which called bootstrap. And if we go to bootstrap, we have this code, so we don't need them. Let's delete everything from here, and instead of them, let's just type import./echo.js. Then in echo.js we have this code which we are going to use inside our welcome.blade.php to listen to our event. So let's go back in here, and in here let's type an script. Then in here let's type window.echo.channel, and let's give them our channel name which we wrote in here, which is this channel. So let's paste it here, dot listen, and let's give them our event name. So let's scroll up, public event. Let's copy this from here and paste it in here. Then let's create an arrow function, so e as a parameter. Then inside here we will log the e. So let's type console.log and e. Now let's open the terminal, and in here first of all let's type npm run build. Then let's open. It's done. Now let's open a new terminal, and in here let's type PHP artisan reverb : start. So this will start our reverb application. Then we also have to create a new terminal, and in here we have to type PHP artisan q work. Let's press enter. Now after that, let's close this part and let's go to our route web.php. in here let's create a temporary route to trigger our event. So let's create a route : get test, and let's create a callback function in here. Then in here we will call our event. So let's call them event new public event, and let's give them to hello world. Now let's go to our browser, and in here let's go to our welcome page. Let's open the inspect. So in here we get cannot read property of undefined channels. So to fix this, just come to welcome.blade.php and warp this to in a set timeout. So let's call our set timeout, and just we will set 2 seconds, or you can make it 500 millisecond also. Let's make it less. Now let's go back and let's refresh. Okay, we are not getting any errors, so let's go to our and trigger our event. So let's go to test route. Okay, as you guys can see, we got our hello message. So let's put this here and this one in here. The moment when I trigger my event, I get a message in here. As you guys can see, I got hello message. Or again, if I go back to my VS Code, and in here let's change it to something else, ABC. Let's go back and let's refresh this. Okay, I got my message in here. So this is the way we create a public event. Now let's go and create one private event also with the channel, so we can listen to that also. Then we will move all our project to our VPS. So let's go to our VS Code back, and in here let's create a new event. So let's go here and let's clear this. Let's type PHP artisan make event, and let's give them a name. So I will name it private event. Enter. Okay, our event is done. Now in here let's add implement should broadcast. Then in the constructor we need two parameters, one for data and one for the user ID. So let's go and in here let's add our data first and the user ID. Now let's create two public variables. So let's type public $data and public $user ID. Then in here we will set the data and user the ID to our parameters. So let's type $this data is equal to $data, and this $user ID is equal to $user ID. Now let's create our broadcast with method. So let's type public function broadcast with, and this will return array. So let's return array, and inside here we will return our message. So let's type this data. Now let's scroll down, and on broadcast on. So this time we will not change private channel, we will keep it private channel, and just we will change the name. So in here you can type any name you want, but it should be in this manner. So private channel. Now after this you have to type it exactly like this, .user, and after this then again you have to concatenate the user ID. So $this user ID. So it should be like this, but this part is very important, and this one is on you, what you will give your channel name. So our event is done. Now for private channel we have to also go and create a channel route, so we can listen to it. We don't need that for our public, but we need it for our private channel. So let's go to our routes, and inside our route there's a file with the name of channels.php, and in here we have to type broadcast : channel Then we have to type our channel name, the same thing that we wrote in here. So let's copy it all the way to user, so, and paste it in here. Then dot ID. So this ID will be the parameter. It will be changed dynamically. Then after that, we have to create a callback function in the second parameter of channel. So let's type function $user, comma $ID. Then inside this, let's close this one. We will say return $user ID is equal to $ID. Now let's go to our welcome.blade.php in here. So to listen to the public channel, we will write this, but to listen to private channel, let's comment this. We don't need that. We have to type window.ecode.private and give the channel name. So let's go to our event and let's copy it again from here, paste it in here. After that, dot the ID of the user. So we can get it by typing auth ::ID. Then after that, we have to listen to our event. So let's copy our event name, scroll up, and this is our event name. Copy this and paste it inside our blade. Then after that, we have to create a callback function. So we will type E as a parameter. Then inside that, we are going to listen to E. So we will type console.log E. Now let's go to our web.php and trigger our event. So let's comment this one and let's type event new private event, and in here let's type private message as a data. Then we will type the user ID, the one that we want to send to this broadcast. So if I open my database and refresh my table, in here, as you guys can see, I only have one user with the name of 1, and let's go in here, type 1. So we want to send it to the user 1. Now let's go to our browser. Let's open both of them. Let's refresh in here. Let's go to login and login as our user. So it's admin@gmail.com, and let's type the password as well. So log in. Now let's go back to our welcome page. So now in here, if I refresh my page, it trigger the event. Now let's refresh one more time. Okay, I think we have a problem. Let's go back to our event. Channel. Okay, yeah. In here we forgot to add a dot. So after the user, we have to add a dot. Now let's open our terminal, stop the broadcasting and stop the queue also. Let's stop both of them. Now let's run them again. Start and start this one also. Now let's go back to our browser. Let's refresh this one also and this one also. Okay, now as you guys can see, we got our message. So let's refresh again. Yeah, we got our message. Now even if I run this, trigger this event in a private window, so let's add this in here and let's press enter. Let's wait. Yeah, as you guys can see, we got our message in here also. So this is the way we create public and private events in Laravel Reverb and broadcasting. Now our project is done in the local host, so we have to move it to our VPS, to our server. So let's see how we can do this. So let's go to our project folder in here in our directory. Let's zip this. Let's go one step up and let's zip this project completely. So compress to file. Now let's wait until the compression is finished. Okay, so the compression is finished. Now let's transfer this to our domain or VPS. So I'm using Terminus to transfer or edit my files in the server. So you can use any FTP or anything that you like. So I'm using the Terminus. So let's open our server. So it's open. Let's select the host and VP our server. Now let's go to home. So let's go to home, our domain name. Then let's go to public HTML, and in here we have to add our project. So I'm going to add it in here. So let's go to our files and drag and drop it. So let's add it here. Now let's wait until the uploading is finished. So it has been uploaded. Now let's go and unzip our Laravel Reverb.zip. So let's go and to our terminal. In here, let's go to our directory. Let's type cd home / our domain name. Then after that, public HTML. And in here, let's type unzip Laravel Reverb.zip. Enter. Okay, it's getting unzipped. It's done. Let's clear this. Now let's go and create our database inside our cPanel. So right now I am inside my cPanel. Let's scroll down until you find manage my database section. Let's click here and click the create database. Okay, so let's give him a name. So I will name it Laravel Reverb. Now let's click. Okay, our database has been created. Now let's go back and configure our .env in our server. But before going to our .env file, let's do one more thing in here. While we are in this page, let's scroll down until you find add user to database. Let's assign a user to our database. So in here, let's select our user and our database also that we just created and click add. Now let's click all privileges and make change. Okay, it has been added. Now let's go back. Now if I scroll down in here, this is our database and this user has been assigned to this. So it's done. Now let's go and configure our .env. So let's open our terminus and let's go to SFTP, and in here let's refresh. Okay, inside our Laravel Reverb, let's open that .env file. Let's open with. Let's select VS Code and click open. Once it's open, then the first thing that I will do is change my app URL. So let's type here HTTPS : / my domain name. Then after that, we have to change our database user, database password, and database name. So let's go back to our cPanel. In here, let's scroll down and let's copy the database name from here. Paste it in here. Now let's change our username as well and let's type our password. Now let's save this and upload it back to our server. Now let's go back in here in our terminal. In here let's type php artisan migrate. Okay, so let's go inside our Laravel Reverb project, Laravel Reverb, and in here let's type php artisan migrate. Okay, this is done. Let's type php artisan optimize :clear, enter. This is also done. Now let's go to our browser and open our project. So let's go to our domain name /Laravel Reverb /public/login, enter. Now as you guys can see, I got my project is running, but the problem is that we have public in our URL, which I don't want. So let's go and remove all of them from here up to the login part, up to the public part. So let's go to our SFTP and let's go to our public HTML. In here we have to create one file with the name of htaccess. So let's upload the file. In here I have this file htaccess. Let's drag and drop this. Now it has been uploaded. Now let's go back to our project and remove this part, public also, only keep the login. Now as you guys can see, there is no project name, and public we can directly access the login. This is the content of that htaccess. I will add this also inside my project in the GitHub. You can find that there. Now after this we have to open port 8080 in our firewall. So let's go to our WHM. This time open WHM, not cpanel, WHM. So let's open this and let's copy our password. Now let's write our username and password. Click login. Once it's loaded, then search for firewall and select config server, security and firewall. Then after that scroll down until you find firewall configuration. So click this. Then scroll down until you find TCP in and TCP out. In here you have to type :8080 and in here as well. So let's type 8080. Now let's scroll to the bottom of the page and click change, restart. Okay, both of them are done. Now let's click return. Now after this we have to configure our SSL certificate. So let's go in here and type SSL and select install an SSL certificate on a domain. Then after that scroll down until you find browse certificates. Then in here choose your domain name. In here one very important thing, that if your domain have a self-signed certificate, the Laravel Reverb will not work. So I will repeat it again because it's very important. If your domain have self-signed certificate, Laravel Reverb will not work. It will give you a lot of errors. So you have to issue a trusted SSL certificate. You can go to 0ssl.com and log in. If you don't have any account, create an account and log in. Then go to certificate and click new certificate. So in here as you guys can see, I already have created a certificate for 90 days and the status is also issue, which will expire on 7th of November 2024. Once you have issued and downloaded your certificate, then you will get a zip file, extract it in here. So let's extract this. Extract. Now in here, as you guys can see, I have my certificate, my private key, and CA bundle. So we are going to use this for our domain. So let's rename this and change it to SSL. Now let's move this to our project inside our server. So let's open our project. So you can add it anywhere you want. So but I'm going to use the storage folder, app, and I'm going to add it in here. So let's drag and drop it there. Let's open here and add it in here. Okay, it has been added. Now let's go to our WHM. Let's close this. Now in here you have to select your domain and IP address. So let's select that. And in here in the certificate, so I am going to install it manually. Now let's go in here and open our first of all, let's open our certificate and paste it in here. So let's open it in with our VS Code. Let's copy everything from here and paste it in here. Then let's scroll down for the private key. Let's open this one also with our VS Code. Copy everything, paste it in here, and let's do the CA bundle also. Let's open it. Let's paste it to certificate authority bundle. Okay, in here let's type our domain name. We forgot our domain. Okay, so we have our certificate, we have our private key, and we also added our certificate authority bundle. Now let's click install. Okay, it has been installed. Now click OK. Now after that we have to configure our .env. So let's go to our terminals, and in here let's open the .env file. So let's scroll down until you find the .env. Here it is. Let's open it in our VS Code and let's scroll down. First of all, let's change our Reverb host from localhost to our domain name. So let's type here our domain name. Then instead of HTTP for Reverb scheme, we will type HTTPS. Then for our certificates, it is very important to create 3 keys in here. One, let's type it Reverb TLS cert, and the path is equal. Let's create one more. So this would be Reverb. The names are all on you. You can give them any name you want. So let's type it here also, TLS key path and Reverb TLS CA path. Now for all 3 of them you have to specify the exact path of your certificate. So if I go to terminals and inside my storage, app, SSL, I have to type the specific full path of each of them, that where are they, not just my project name, complete path of them. So starting from home until SSL. So let's copy them from here and paste them inside our .env. So let's paste here also, this one here and in here. So our certificate is, the name of our certificate is certificate.crt. So let's copy this from here Remember that these are very important. They should be exactly as it is. Now let's close this. Let's copy our key. And paste it in here. Then our bundle. So let's close this and let's click rename, copy this and paste it here. Now let's upload this. Now let's go to our config folder. So let's go up to our project and inside our config folder, then let's open reverb configuration. So in here let's open reverb.php. Now let's scroll down until you find the servers, then reverb. In the option TLS, we are going to add our certificates. So our first certificate would be local cert, and this let's give them to env. Go to env and go to take it from reverb TLS certificate path. Then let's add our keys. So let's type local pk, and this will be also an env reverb TLS key path and our bundle. So let's type ca file, and this will be also in our env reverb TLS ca path. Let's save this. Let's go and upload this. Now after doing all of this, let's go to our terminal, and in here let's type npm run build. Okay, it's running. Let's clear this. Now in here we have to type php artisan reverb :start to start our reverb. Now press enter. Okay, it has been started. Now let's duplicate this to run our queues. So let's go back. Let's say cd home, our domain, then public HTML Laravel Reverb, and let's type php artisan queue work. Okay, it's running. Now let's go to our browser. Let's refresh this. Let's open the inspect console. Okay, now let's open the trigger our event. So let's say in here test. Now let's wait. Yeah, as you guys can see, I got my message ABC. If I open my web.php in here, routes web.php, in here as you guys can see, I trigger my public event. So let's comment this and let's uncomment this part. Let's save this and upload this one. Now let's go to our browser and let's register a new user. Okay, let's close this. Let's admin at email admin at gmail.com. Let's give him a password as well. So let's go and click register. Okay, we have been registered. Now let's go back to our welcome page and let's open the console. Let's go here. Now let's trigger our event. Let's wait. Okay, we did not get anything. Let's do it one more time. Nothing. Yeah, I forgot to do it in the my resources also. So let's go here to listen to the events. So let's go to resources, view, welcome.blade.js. Yeah, let's comment this part and listen to our private channel. Upload. Let's go back, refresh this, and let's trigger our event again. Yeah, as you guys can see, I got my message. Now let's open this in a new private window. Let's copy the link from here. Let's put this one this side and this one in this side. Okay, now let's see. Yeah, as you guys can see, I got my message. So this is it for the configuration of WebSocket. Now let's see some common problems and how we can solve it. Even after doing all these steps and still you get WebSocket connection failed, like this message. Let's pause this too for few minutes. Let's cancel this one also. Now let's go back here. Now, even doing all the steps and you still get this error message, there are two solutions for this. The first thing that you have to do is just copy your URL in a new terminal, paste it here and open the port 8080 this way. Now let's run our queue and our reverb. Now let's go back. Now you have to get this not found. So once you got this not found, then you can check your WebSocket. It should be working. This is the first solution. Okay, let's refresh this and this one also. And the second solution, if this did not work, then you have to come to your WHM and search for Apache configuration. Open Apache configuration and select include editor. Then select pre-virtual host include, and in here choose your version. Then paste this code inside this. I will add this code also to my GitHub repo so you can get it from there. So let's copy this and paste it in here. Then update. After update, restart your Apache. Now let's wait. Okay, it's done. Now go back here, refresh this one and this one also. Okay, just let's. Okay, now let's go and trigger our event. Now, as you guys can see, I got my message. So these are the solutions to solve this problem. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and like the video. If you have any questions, write it down in the comment. And don't forget to press the subscribe and like button.